global tax deals happening. We got global deals on principles for how they're going to, interact among each other with central bank digital currencies. And people really believe they couldn't come up with a price set for XRP. That's like not even hard to think about.
There's no logic there. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. If they do that, we believe the value would be higher than it was in September and October of 2021 when we were throwing out 25,000, 37.5 a coin.
So it would be a higher price than the previous prediction.
Probably in the 50,000 now, I would think. We haven't brought the numbers down, but I'm just thinking about all the additional trillions of dollars that got pumped in to the economy.
The debt, yes.
The fact, the Fed right now is really the only participant in our economy. They're basically issuing all the money. That's going into the big banks, and then the big banks are selling, and the hedge funds are selling their crap fucking debt.
Yeah.
Sorry, can I pass on this?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
They're selling their crap debt back to the Fed, and the balance sheet's going parabolic.
Yeah.
That could be resolved in a variety of ways, but it could also be resolved in regulation coming in over the top. We know it's imminent, though, right? So when I say imminent, I would be surprised if a quarter from now we're really still embroiled in the SEC lawsuit, because I think the state of affairs throughout the world is such that we're going to need a solution like an XRP for liquidity purposes sooner rather than later. So the question is then, okay, we've magically resolved it. Where does the price go? It's easy to project that it's a double-digit number. So I think it immediately shoots up to a $10, potentially $20. The wild card to me is that there is actually a deal to be done among the central banks and governments to basically have XRP work as the world's bridge currency, a neutral asset that could be traded between the central banks to move a specific type of fiat to another type of fiat. If that's what occurs, it's back to what we were discussing earlier. It's got to cover kind of all the money. And I think you're looking at a range that XRP would settle on agreement. So this would happen instantaneously, somewhere between $10,000 and $35,000 a coin. And our lives will be, maybe the same, maybe different. I don't know. Probably a little different.
We believe, and certainly if you're paying attention what's going on with the BRICS coalition and all the countries that are, it seems like they can't get over there fast enough, right? But it's like every day there's two more countries are like, yep, we're joining BRICS and we want to go to a asset backed, it's the gold standard is the euphemism, but it's really, it's a basket of precious metals. It's oil and natural gas, probably. That's probably why the Middle East in particular is pretty bullish on moving over into this type of a new financial system. And it could be a basket of currencies as well, but I don't think when the wave sweeps through, and it looks like it's coming east to west, and in the East, they're basically starting with gold-backed currencies. So they're re-equitizing their financial system with gold. We're going to have to do the same thing, right? Or else there is no intrinsic value of fiat money. It is worth the paper it's printed on, and the paper it's printed on is probably worth about 2 cents. Right. So,
well, isn't that the right behind you is the very papers that would actually might even be worth more than the papers you're describing? That isn't that your outline of the asset-backed plan?
That's impressive. This is a white paper we published last month that is about the ABDC transition, and it is managing the transition to the new asset-backed digital economy. I'll have to send you. Did I send you a copy?
So explain the XRP use case and why you think XRP is going to play a fundamental role in the transformation of the global economy in years to come.
So XRP is the most liquid asset ever created in the history of the world.
Well, there's a statement. Why is that?
It is capable of moving anything of value to anything else of value in 3 to 5 seconds. It costs fractions of a penny to move it, and it is energy efficient. In fact, it's almost carbon neutral.
What assures its store of value? In other words, what makes it reliable?
The same thing that makes the US dollar reliable is that people end up investing things of value onto the ledger, and that use of it, that kind of value coming onto the ledger and being communicated, is basically what stores the value. Learning a few more, you mentioned a smoking gun. It could be that type of thing that's in the Hinman emails, right? That there's like a direct link to the Chinese Communist Party. If that has occurred, and agents of the U.S. government have basically been acting on behalf of the Chinese Communist Party, that's treason, and that's not good.
Yeah, not good at all. Well,
And people need to, if that is the case, which I hope it's not, I really do. But if that is the case, some people really need to start coming clean. Like you said, gloves off, they need to start coming clean immediately to try to basically save their lives.
Wow. Yeah. So you're saying that, we need whistleblowers to come clean or bring whatever information they have to light. And what other series of events do you think need to occur for us to get to?
I think the SEC, I think the SEC needs to disclose not only the emails, I think we need all the documents. I think we need transparency, full transparency around all these matters from the SEC. It probably exposes corruption within the SEC. And some people may go to jail. But wow, in order to reestablish trust in our government, we have to have transparency immediately on these issues, because at this point, they're so far off the reservation. It's so blatantly obvious that they're covering up something. It's the Streisand effect. It's only becoming more and more prominent. The SEC, if they continue on this path, will not exist as an agency. They will be removed. There's no way that participants in a free market are going to trust a fully corrupt federal agency to have anything to do with their financial affairs. It's kind of like we're talking about people's money here, and you know what Big Worm said in Friday: when you messing with my money, you're messing with my emotions, Smokey. So it's a big problem.
That makes sense.
Of the lawsuit from the SEC, you would immediately see it at this $10 to $20 value. Just kind of normal starting use case type stuff. But we used, we were looking at the debt clock back then. We were doing some kind of, what if you reset the economy back to a gold standard type analysis? And the implied price of gold based on the debt at that time was it was about $35,000 an ounce. So it was this thought of, you could see the G7 come together, right, and shake hands on a deal where their central banks will start trading gold again and supporting their own national currencies with on a gold standard, just like Russia's done, right? Mm-hmm. But that they wouldn't, it was too cumbersome in the world we live in today to be putting tons of gold on military aircraft and shipping them back and forth between countries to settle up transactions at the central bank level. So why not price a digital asset? Why not use the best one, the most useful, and basically just tie that 1-to-1 to an ounce of gold And that's where we kind of came up with this, concept that you could see some people sitting around the table going, we're going to go back to a gold standard. We're going to write up these assets. We're going to write up gold into what the implied price already was. And then using XRP to communicate that value digitally instead of having to actually do it physically.
So, and just for, those new to this space, as I am, relatively speaking, I mean, the creation of of these units, that you said not energy dependent. I mean, we see the creation of Bitcoin is a result of mining, which is tremendously energy inefficient. And we've seen New York State take steps, I believe, just this past week to limit the energy consumption associated with Bitcoin mining. How is XRP, how are units of XRP created?
So the XRP units that exist, there's 100 billion of them. Well, there's less than that now because some have been burned in transaction fees, about 10 million, I think. But the 100 billion was actually created at the genesis of the network that XRP is transmitted on, which is called the XRP ledger. We call it the XRPL. Mm-hmm. So that was created actually before Ripple, the company, was formed, okay? And then all of the XRP was gifted to the founders of Ripple, which when they founded it, it was called OpenCoin. They later changed the name to Ripple, and then Ripple Labs, I believe. So it was gifted to founders and the company. Later, there was a lot that was distributed to potential users. Think, large commercial banks, central bank type people. There was amounts that were distributed to them to help them start to test and use the technology and basically bring about adoption. And then there was about 50 billion, so about half was retained in Ripple, that in December of 2017, Ripple put into a cryptographic escrow. And that escrow basically published the monetary policy of XRP.